Women educators are natural givers, pouring into their students, their families, and communities. But what about pouring into you? This is the Educator Sanctuary, where we help you ditch the guilt and unapologetically put yourself at the top of your list. I'm Dr. Leah, educator, mindset coach, and your guide to creating a life where you align with your purpose and reclaim your power. So if you're ready to set boundaries and step fully into the woman you're meant to be, you're definitely in the right place. Let's get into it.
Hey, and welcome back to the Educator Sanctuary, where we have big conversations, mindset shifts, personal growth, and all the things that help you live more intentionally. I'm Dr. Leah, and y'all, this is the 50th episode. 50! And our last episode of 2025. And I'm not going to lie, I'm so speechless. One, because when I woke up at the beginning of this year and I had this vision of starting the podcast, I honestly could not have believed that 50 episodes later, more than, a couple thousand downloads later, more than 150 cities in the U.S., more than 6 countries around the world are listening to this podcast when I didn't even know how to start a podcast. And I have just been in awe of this entire journey. And I have been sitting here trying to figure out how to make this episode, this 50th episode, be the best episode that you had. Not just because it's another episode, but because this is the episode where we close out an entire year, a whole season, and an entire version of ourselves. So if you are listening to this while you're folding laundry or driving or trying to just steal 5 minutes of peace before whatever chaos in your life starts to ensue, I need you to just stay with me, because what I'm about to say will hopefully change how you walk into 2026. So here is the thing. We're very close to January because we just started December. So we are very close to the whole new year, new me. Everybody's going to be walking into it really soon. And you're probably going to be claiming that too, right? That new year, new me energy. You're probably going to be working on your vision boards. You're going to be going to the goal setting workshops. You're going to be buying all the planners, and listening to all the things that people say as you hone in on what they're doing so you can make the promises to yourself too. And I'm not knocking any of that, but I do need to tell you that you don't need a new you. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need someone else's journey to inspire you another year. You do not need to wait for some magic formula or perfect timing to show up. Because what I have learned this year is all you need to do is step into the version of you that is already there and waiting on you. And I'm going to say this again because I need you to feel this deep within your soul. You simply need to step into the version of you that is waiting for you. I have been a person who has spent my entire life really being very good at following blueprints. A lot of that definitely my upbringing, right? You just do what you're told. You don't really ask that many questions. You just follow what I tell you and everything is going to be okay. So if you give me a plan, I'm executing it. You give me a system, I will master it. You give me a roadmap, I will get to the destination faster than you thought was ever possible. That is how I moved through school, through my careers with an S, through building my businesses with an S. But here is what nobody tells you. When you get ready to step into the version of you that is at the level of success that you have been dreaming about, and I'm still going there. I have arrived to a version of me that I thought about years ago. I'm not completely exactly where I see myself, but I am there. Okay. All at the same time. There is a point where you have to become the blueprint. There is a point where there may not have been anyone that has done it before you that you know. And in order for you to break some of the patterns and the generational curses and step into the version of you that you have been dreaming about, you are going to need to become the blueprint. And that is terrifying because now, even in my life, a lot of days it's just me, God, and sometimes an AI at 11 o'clock at night trying to figure out what's next. There's no mentor who's done exactly what I'm doing that I know that I could pick up the phone and call. There's no family member that I can call and say, hey, how did you do XYZ? I'm at the point where I am not only building a business, I'm a business owner. I am no longer an entrepreneur. I am a business owner that is trying to scale a business nationally, globally, while launching a parent academy, having a successful podcast, drinking my water, minding my business, raising my daughter. Like there's so much going on and I have to stay sane in all of this. I'm definitely walking in what I would call uncharted waters. And as for someone who's used to having all the answers, that's been one of the hardest parts of this year. So I had to get real with myself about something. For the longest time, I believed the lie that we have all been sold. Work harder, grind more, hustle until you cannot. Be busy, busy, busy. And I will tell you, working harder, grinding more, hustling and being busy, 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 busy hasn't gotten myself anywhere. With all the stuff that I have done this year, and I have done a lot, I have rested more, I have played more, I have just enjoyed myself more, I have enjoyed life more, and I have gotten further doing all the things that make me feel good inside than I have when I was hustling and grinding and doing all the things. I noticed something. And even more so this year, because I did notice it years ago. And I think when I mentioned it to a couple of people, they saw it as comparison, but it really wasn't. But this year I got to be aware of it and I didn't tell anybody about it. So you're hearing about it now on this podcast. But there are a lot of mediocre businesses making millions and or billions of dollars. There are a lot of mediocre people becoming top creators with mediocre content. There are a lot of mediocre coaches going viral and making way more money than the people that are actually excellent at what they do. And I noticed it then, and I cannot help but notice it now, that if they can do it, Hey, Educator Sanctuary listeners. Are you a homeschooling mom or thinking about it, but feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or maybe unsure how to confidently guide your child's learning journey? Maybe you're craving time for self-care, rest, or just a break, but you feel like you're doing it all on your own without anyone to turn to for help. Let me introduce you to Purpose Prep Academy, an online and in-person STEAM microschool for learners in grades K-8. Purpose Prep Academy isn't just any school. It's a space where young minds are nurtured, empowered, and taught to lead with confidence, curiosity, and purpose. Purpose Prep Academy focuses on providing students with the academic tools they need while fostering personal growth to help them thrive, both inside and outside the classroom. At Purpose Prep Academy, they offer personalized learning, foster critical thinking, and provide real-world applications to help students become 21st century leaders and change makers. If you're looking for a program that can help you reclaim your time, give you peace of mind, or simply give your child a space to thrive, Purpose Prep Academy could be exactly what you've been looking for. Want to learn more? Visit purposeprepacademy.org to schedule a virtual meeting or an experience day and find out if Purpose Prep Academy is the right fit for your family. Then the game has never been about working harder. That is the lie. You know people who work hard. You might be one of the hard workers. You know people who are barely getting any rest because they're working hard. You know people who have been working 30, 40 years hard, and they are nowhere close to where they want to be in life. There are brilliant educators burnt out in classrooms right now. There are incredible, dynamic women who are pouring everything into their businesses, and they're barely breaking even on an income. So if it's not about working harder, then what is it about? And that is when I let my awareness run rampant and shift everything for me. And I stopped asking, what do I need to do to be successful? And I started asking, who do I need to become? And here is the wildest part. When I finally got truly comfortable with me, I realized that I've already become her. I am her. The woman that I've been trying to become is already here. She's been here. She's the one who built the businesses that I have. She's the one who created the programs that I've created. She's the one who showed up even when it was hard. She's the one who kept going when everything and everyone else quit. She's me. But here's what I was doing, and you're probably doing this too. I was straddling two identities. One foot in the woman that I have become, and one foot still the woman that I used to be. One foot playing it big over here, one foot playing small over there. One foot fully confident in this area, one foot doubting myself in that area. And you cannot build a life standing like that. You cannot walk into your future with one foot still in your past. So I had to make a decision. Where do I want my feet? Because I can't be one foot in and one foot out. And I'm going to tell you something else. The reason why we end up straddling two identities is not because we're lazy or uncommitted or anything like that. It's really because there's a part of us, our nervous system, that has been wired for years that's trying to keep us safe. Your body has adapted to a certain level of struggle, a certain level of smallness, a certain level of what's possible for someone like me. And even when your spirit is screaming for more, and even when you feel like you can taste the success that you know is waiting, your nervous system is whispering, but what if it's not safe? But what if you fail? What if you're not actually made for this? And I hope you can hear that. But I'll ask the questions again. What if it's not safe? What if you fail? What if you're not actually meant for this? What if you're just a fraud? Because I've had that voice come up in my head. You're a fraud. You're a nobody. Nobody's going to listen to you. What makes you so special? And I've had those thoughts come up in my head. And that old programming, while it seems like your enemy, isn't. It was protecting you once, and it kept you alive when you needed to play small. It kept you safe when the world felt dangerous. But here's the truth. That protection has now become your prison. And the woman that you've become or are becoming or know that you want to be doesn't need this level of protection anymore. She's proven that she can be successful. She's built systems of success. She's lived moments of success. But you are still asking her to dim her light so that the old version of you can feel comfortable. That is the real cost of straddling. It's not just that you're stuck. It's that you're asking the best version of yourself to shrink so the scared version can feel safe. And there's a lot of things that we are afraid of. Sometimes we're afraid to move too far ahead because we don't want to leave the people that we love behind. Sometimes we're afraid. We say we want to make a lot of money, but we're afraid of making a certain level of money because you're wondering about all the people who's going to be reaching out to you to ask you for help. People that is expecting more of you, people that didn't support you, but that want you to support them. There's so many things that you might be fearful of. I've heard people say, oh, I don't want to be rich. I just want to have enough money to pay my bills. No, you don't. You want to travel. You want to go shopping without looking at price tags. You want to be able to take off as many days of work as you need to feel emotionally stable, to feel alive again. You want to take off time from work to decide if you even like that job. You don't want enough money to pay your bills, but that's a lie that we tell ourselves because we think that that is protecting us, or we think that someone else is going to think that we're better than them. And when all of this came to my awareness, I stopped trying to do anything. And instead, I started just allowing myself to align with the version of myself that already exists and already deserves that. Because I believe wholeheartedly that if you have desires in your heart, that the desires is the version of you that already has it and pulling you towards that identity. I could be wrong, but I don't believe that we have desires and longings that we can never reach. I believe that it is our greatest achievement that we have these things and that we're desiring them because there is a version of us that has them. And that version that has it is trying to pull the identity of us that we are right now today to that version that has it. That's what I believe desire is. So think about it like this. You are walking parallel to the most successful version of yourself that has ever lived. The woman that has the business, the income, the peace, the relationships, the abundance, literally everything you could have ever dreamed about. She's already there right next to you because she's you. And this is where I believe faith comes in. I believe God does not call you to become something that you're not. He calls you to step into what you already are. God does not work through becoming. It works through alignment. He works through you and calling you to be obedient to the woman that you've already been made to be. Like, we're already promised abundance. If you really think about it, before you were even brought into this world, you were already promised these things, these riches, this abundance, this life of joy and peace and love, literally the fullness of everything before you were even here. So it only makes sense that if you were already given these things before you were here, that there's a version of you that's standing there waiting for you to accept it. I hope I did not confuse you there. So this is what I need you to hear. Your habits create your identity, and the identity creates your life. So if you have been showing up differently this year, if you have been doing the inner work, if you have been making the hard decisions, if you have been choosing yourself, even when it felt selfish, then you're already that version, and you need to just keep going until you have all of the things that version of you is waiting to give you. But if you're not, and you haven't been, now is the time to fully step into that version. Not in January, not when you feel ready, not when the timing is right, not when you have it all figured out, but now. Because here's what most people do, and they're going to do. You're going to see it. They're going to say, new year, new me. It's going to be all over everything. Facebook, Instagram, everybody's going to be hollering new year, new me. But they're going to keep the same habits, the same patterns, the same energy, and they're going to be shocked when 2026 is just like 2025. But not you, because you know the truth. The woman who has everything you want, the business, the peace, the relationships, the abundance, she's not hesitating to grab what's hers. She's not asking for permission to have something that was already promised to her. She doesn't wait until she feels ready. She's moving now. She's making choices now. She has already decided now. And all she has to do is step into who she already is. That woman is you. You're her. You just need to align fully with that version of you. And I want to be super real with you about something. If you walk into 2026 still straddling, still playing small, and still asking the best version of yourself to shrink, there will be a cost. And it's not just going to be that you stay stuck, because for me, I believe it's much deeper than that. You're going to watch another year pass with you being the same version of yourself. You're going to watch another year pass where you're unhappy with where you are. You're going to watch another year pass seeing other women step into their power while you're still negotiating with yourself about whether or not you deserve it. You will carry regrets. Not the kind that motivates you, but the kind that hardens you. The kind that whispers, you knew better and you didn't do it. Your children will learn from you that it's okay to dim their light. Your community will miss the full expression of what you were meant to bring to them. And you, the deepest parts of you, the part that knows what you're capable of, will feel the ache of a life unlived. You will continue to wake up every single day knowing that whatever you're doing is not your destiny. You will ache at the fact that you are unfulfilled, and you will say that you're stuck and you don't know what to do when you did know what to do, but didn't do it. And you'll have to live with that until you choose differently. Because every single time that you choose the familiar over the aligned, you're telling yourself a story that you're not ready, that you're not worthy, and you're not safe enough to be fully abundant. And that story continues to compound, and it gets louder and it gets heavier. But there is good news and there's a flip side, because I don't want you to be down. I don't want you to be down. Every time you choose alignment over comfort, every time you step into the woman, that version of you that deserves everything you desire, you're rewiring not just your life, you're rewiring your legacy. Sometimes I make choices not because I feel like it, but because I'm really trying to rewire my subconscious, and we can only do it with repetition over and over again. There are things that play out in my real world, and I have to say, I don't care what that look like. That's not what it is. I don't care what that looks like. The outcome will be better. I don't care what that looks like. I'm not reacting to that the way that I used to, because I believe that the highest and best version of me will respond this way. I believe that the highest and best version of me will make this choice. So here is your homework before we close out 2025. 1, get clear on who she is, the best version of you. Not who you were, not who you were trying to become, who you are. Write it down, say it out loud, and own the best version of you. Identify one old pattern that the old version of you would do. Maybe it's people pleasing. Maybe it's overworking. Lord knows I needed to be delivered from that for sure. Maybe it's playing small. Maybe it's waiting for permission, or worse, validation from someone else. Whatever that is, let it go. Not on January the 1st, right now, this week. Don't take that into 2026. That pattern has had its season and it ends now. Right now, while you listen to the podcast. Now is the time to release it with gratitude. Thank you for serving me. Thank you for protecting me. But the version of me that I am now no longer needs this. And you release it and move forward. Do one thing this week that only the aligned version of you would do. Not the old you, but the version that's waiting on you. What would she do? Do that. Because here's the truth. You never need to wait for January 1st. You don't even need to wait for tomorrow. You don't need to have anything figured out. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to step into that version that has everything you desire and deserve now. It's not easy, but it is very simple. And you might be sitting here thinking, like, what is she talking about? I feel like she's talking in circles. I don't get it. I don't understand. Okay, I hear you. If you are someone who needs help and you're like, I need support. I need someone to walk me through this. I need someone to hold my hand because I don't know what you're talking about, because that used to be me. I got you. If you have been listening to my past few podcasts, I have opened up my Mindset to Money program, and it is literally for women who are fully ready to step into their identity in 2026. Women who are done straddling. Women who are ready to align with who they've become and build a life and business that reflects that. Women who are not afraid to invest in themselves. Women who are not afraid to choose them first. This is not about becoming someone new. It is literally about stepping into the woman you are, the one that God made you to be, the one your purpose is waiting for, and the one that your life is meant to reflect. If that is you, information in the show notes, definitely send me a message. Let's talk, because I don't want you doing this alone. I had to do it alone a lot of the time, but I don't want you doing it alone. All I know is you deserve what you desire. And I am here to help you walk through it. So, without further ado, I am excited to say this is 50, episode 50, the last live episode of 2025. But don't you worry, you will still be getting episodes for the next few weeks. Bonus episodes, but this is the last live episode of 2025. And I do want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for trusting me with your time, your heart, your journey. Thank you for sharing. I just cannot believe I have done the least amount of marketing this year for this podcast, and the organic growth has been amazing. I am definitely working on something different for 2026. And so I'm looking forward to 100xing the growth of this podcast because it has done so well organically. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I could not have done this without you. But before you go, I do want to share that you are not the same woman that you were at the beginning of this year. You have grown. You have evolved. So please do not walk into 2026 with a new year, new me energy, but with the same old habits. I declare that you will walk into 2026 as the woman that is the highest and best version of you. I declare that you will step into her, align with her, and be her fully, completely, and unapologetically. She has been waiting for you. And now the world is waiting for what she can bring. I will see you all in 2026. Let's go. I'm so excited. I really am so excited. Thank you for being here. Talk soon. Thank you for joining me in the Educator Sanctuary, where we create a space for women educators to reclaim their power and prioritize themselves unapologetically. If you've loved what you've heard, please do not forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with other amazing women who need to hear this message. Until next time, remember, you are capable, you are powerful, and you are absolutely worthy. You've got this. Talk soon.